Hey friends, how do you think Vector got to prison if he stayed on Mars at the end of Ugly Eye 4? In the last scene, we see him in a jail cell. But it doesn't clash at all with his stay on Mars. Today, we'll try to answer that question. The last time, Vector went on a full adventure to Mars with the Minions. He was sent there and was supposed to stay there forever. So how did he get back to Earth? Let's delve deeper into Vector's journey from Mars to Earth. How did he manage to get back? How did he get caught again and sent to the prison that we see at the end of Ugly Eye 4 when Gru visits Maxim? We see all the villains, including Vector, who was supposed to be on Mars. They never explain how he got there, but there are many hints and possible explanations as to how he got back to Earth. It's a really fun and interesting story. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Vector's journey from Mars to Earth. Let's go! In the first 2010 Ugly Eye movie, Gru defeats Vector by sending him to the moon. At the end of the scene and the movie, we see Vector looking angrily at Earth because he didn't expect to be on the moon. After that, the following Ugly Eye movies had many people wondering what happened to Vector. In 2023, Illumination Studios released a short film called Moon that shows what happened to Vector after the 2010 movie. It's a very funny short movie where we see the Minions and Vector stuck on the moon, not knowing what's going on. In this short movie, Vector struggled to get back to Earth using his villainous powers and everything he had on hand. In the end, he took rockets and tried to return to Earth, but did so in such a way that he ended up on Mars. There, a little Martian tried to help him, but Vector was too angry and ignored him. The Minions were also on Mars, but returned to Earth with the Martian, leaving Vector alone. In Illumination Studios' next project, Ugly Eye 4, we see Vector return at the end of the movie, dancing in prison with the other villains. What happened between when Vector was on Mars and when he ended up in a prison cell on Earth? Vector is very smart, probably the smartest villain in the entire Ugly Eye franchise. He always finds a way to get back to Earth, even if he doesn't succeed right away. At the end of the Moon short film, Vector was without clothes or equipment, symbolizing that he wouldn't return to Earth so easily. But at one point, a Martian came to the rescue with his ship. Let's elaborate on Vector's personality. Despite his anger and desire to be the best villain, Vector has remarkable intelligence and engineering skills. His gadgets and inventions have always impressed with their complexity and efficiency. It is important to realize that Vector never gave up in the face of adversity. His perseverance and ingenuity played a key role in his return to Earth. Vector, despite his anger and desire to be a better villain, managed to convince the Martian and the Minions that he was actually a good person. He helped them, gave them gifts, and tried to find common ground using gestures. Eventually, the Martian took him on his ship, and they returned to Earth. But it was not an easy process. Vector had to overcome many difficulties and challenges before he was able to gain the trust of the Martian and the Minions. However, when Vector returned to Earth, he was immediately arrested. He tried to be the main villain again, but he was quickly caught because everyone already knew who he was. Perhaps the Martian himself turned him in to the police, or Vector tried to fight Gru again, but was too busy with other villains like Max and El Macho. There are several versions of exactly how Vector ended up back in prison. First, the Martian may have tipped off the authorities about Vector's return, given his past. Second, Vector himself may have attracted attention with his own behavior and come to the attention of law enforcement once again. Third, Gru probably knew about Vector's return and caught him himself, keeping the city safe. Let's break down each of these versions in more detail. Version 1. The Martian himself reported Vector. Probably after arriving on Earth, the Martian realized who Vector really was and decided not to take any chances. He could have gone to the authorities and turned Vector in to avoid possible future problems. The second theory is that Vector himself attracted attention. As we know, Vector always strives for great things. He may have tried to engage in atrocities again, which attracted the attention of the police. His notoriety and previous crimes left him no chance to escape. Third version. Gru caught Vector again. Gru had already defeated Vector once, and was probably ready for his return. When Vector returned to Earth and tried to resurrect his villainous plans, Gru reacted quickly and caught him again. This explains why Vector ends up back in prison at the end of Ugly Me 4. Regardless of which version is closer to the truth, one thing is clear. Vector has once again failed in his villainous plans and is imprisoned. His attempts to return to Earth and become a better villain failed again. This shows that despite all his intelligence and ingenuity, his ambition always leads him to new failures. In conclusion, the story of Vector's return from Mars to Earth and his re-imprisonment is full of interesting twists and turns. His skills and perseverance allowed him to return, but his ambition and desire for villainy played tricks on him again. This story shows that even the smartest villains can face setbacks if their goals don't match reality. If you liked this explanation, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Leave comments below and tell us what you think about Vector's return. What other theories do you have? See you in the next video.